Hello everybody, okay, welcome to Battersea Park for the first of the Vets AC summer road races. This is a 5k tonight, most of them are 5ks, just a 5-mile one next month. So yeah, see how we go, see how much under 20 minutes I can do today. Somewhere around 19:30 would be good. Must try and not go off too quick, Tim, really must try.
Hello everybody, I thought I'd do a bit of a voiceover of the race. So this is me starting. I deliberately started a bit back today, and this is me just going over the mat. So I had about a 5-6 second differential between gun and chip time, and if anything, and perhaps I felt like I started too far back because I thought I was conscious to really start off slowly, and I was sort of finding myself behind people that wouldn't normally find myself behind. I think I overtook the leading M80, Peter Giles, for instance. But yeah, I kind of soon figured that in this sort of race, you soon find some room, and this is pretty much the same course as the park run here, but there's only about 200 runners or so compared to about 1,000 in that, so you soon find some room. And despite my best efforts to start off slowly, I'm already well under a sub 4 minute K pace, so under a sub 20 pace. So I was thinking that's quite right, because I felt I was feeling in good form. And then we go past the finish there, so we do this straight and then 2 full laps. So I'm now basically onto the course proper, and they've got like a new finishing gantry this year, so it just means that you have to be slightly cautious of whether you go underneath the gantry or to the side of it, and then you just have to be cautious whether you go around this bandstand. But it was completely dry tonight, conditions were nice, it was a bit of sun earlier, it's starting to get a bit cold now, but as you can see everybody is in singlets, and we just had enough daylight left to get this one done. You can see the sun setting there. This lady there in the black, Jemima Renfer, now I kind of assume that she was actually pacing people here, because that lady there in the white with the green slash, I think that's Rebecca Taylor, and it soon became apparent that they were trying to break 20 minutes, and there's the lady there on the left, Geneva Stoneley from Reigate Priory, who's a W50, so I think all of them were basically on a sub 20 train. So I thought, well, this is about right, and I didn't think at this point I was actually running too fast. So Jemima was giving sort of motivational shouts out to people, telling them to relax and not to worry about their time set and all this sort of stuff. So I thought, okay, well, I'll hang in there with them and see if I can push on. And unfortunately it was one of those days where it wasn't really to be, and yeah, perhaps in hindsight, although despite my best efforts, I actually went off a bit too quickly, and you can see already here that I'm sort of, comfortably under a sub 4 minute pace. At this point I felt like quite comfortable. I think I'd had a longer warm up than normal. I got there a bit early, got there about sort of 5:30, and as I'd arrived on the train, if anything, you kind of then feel like, oh, what are you going to do for an hour and a half? So I chatted to Mark Tennyson for a bit, and then we did a lap warm-up with him and Terry Booth. And sometimes I think I can almost over-warm up. You know, you do a warm-up, and then I had about half hour to go. So then I sort of like gathered myself, did a few strides, and then you kind of feel like then you've been on your feet for a while. And I still felt I had this sort of virus kicking around from after Pegwell Bay the previous Saturday, about 10 days ago. I'm still sort of coughing a bit, and I'm still got a bit of guitar in my throat and stuff like that. There we go, the first K in 3:48, so that was easy, my quickest one. But if I'd have done 5 of them back to back, I would have done 90 minutes, and I would have been ecstatic with the 90 minutes. And as it turned out, I didn't even break 20 minutes. So sometimes on YouTube, you just need to show your bad days along with your better days, don't you? I mean, to a certain extent, I feel like all my days now are bad days, because obviously running so much slower than I used to. My PB for anything 5,000 is 15:26 on the track, and I have done a 15:58, I think is my official 5k road PB back in the day. I think that was in about 2001, and then park run is 17 dead. I'll give you a little update on the Vaporfly 4s. Definitely a very light shoe, but you can see from this race, clearly not the magic wand that I was kind of hoping for. So I think one of those days where it's more you than the shoe. As I got into it, a bit more softer than the Vaporfly 1 and 2, and in that sense, much more similar to how I felt the Vaporfly 3. Ironically, I ran my best time in a 5k in the Vaporfly 3s in this very race exactly 2 years ago, coming off Seville marathon training. So I think there's an element sometimes these days that the shoes are only sort of part of the battle, and it's your general fitness is really most important. But yeah, I kind of like the shoes, but basically I just gone off too quickly in this race and blown up basically, and coupled with the fact that I'm still feeling it from that virus. So yeah, the shoes did well, but no Magic Wand for sure. And I think at this point I was starting to think that yeah, maybe this is going to be a bit of a struggle, because the pace there is already starting to creep outside the 4-minute pace, isn't it? Which is not a good sign. And let's see what our mile split is. It is a 6:12. Yeah, so that would be pretty much the fastest mile I've done this year. I think it's an equal with the one I did at Pegwell Bay. And my opening K was also my fastest K that I've done this year. Pretty much also the same as time as I did at Pegwell Bay. But I felt a lot better then. And despite the fact I'd felt ill afterwards. I think it was a bit odd, this race. Although there's quite a lot of people in it, I didn't really know anybody that well that, you know, like when John Broome was in it, I was thinking, oh, although he was perhaps more racing me than the other way around, it was always helpful to know that John Broome is something that I wanted to keep going. And here comes Jemima. Now, this is the point that they start to get ahead, and there's Geneva there on the left in the red, and at this point I kind of realised that they want to train. Now Jemima, I think, a very interesting style there, like some bounces in it, and I looked her up. She's got a 2:52 marathon in her, and I think she's done a 36-minute 10k, so clearly this pace is comfortable for her. So at this point I'm thinking, well, I had a long empty road ahead of me, and all of a sudden I've got about 5 runners have suddenly just overtaken me, and it's one of those times where you think that they're all starting to move away. And at this point I was thinking, can I hang on to these people? We're coming towards the end of the first lap. Now you've got to be a bit careful with these bits here past the barriers. They put some cones out and a marshal just to guide you through, but yeah, you just have to be a bit cautious. I think one time in the dark somebody did actually literally run straight into one of them, which can't have been pleasant. I went through 2k in 7:45, so I just still under a sub 4 pace, but I think now it starts to get a bit hard, and my heart rate was very odd in this one. I got to peak about now just over the 150s, and bizarrely I'm not quite sure whether my heart rate strap was working properly or not. At this point my heart rate seemed to start going down, and oddly it went down to about like 136 after about 4k. And it's almost as if like my heart rate was in tune with my pace, which is now starting to drop. And you can just see that this trio of ladies are just now creeping ahead of me, and the Serpentine guy there is also getting a bit of a march on me. And we've got another, I think it's another Reigate guy there as well. And this is coming up with the track on the right, so I've also done plenty of track races there. And this is the point where we turn left to complete basically one full lap, and you just basically pass the start of where you line up. And you might see a clock there. What did I get? 9:24. So that is coming through. So that's going to be tough, I thought, to even break 20 minutes. And I'm starting to think that just breaking 20 minutes now would be an aim. Now this straight on the last straight is traditionally one I feel I can always get a move on. But at this point in the race, you're coming out to basically exactly halfway, aren't you? And you're thinking, oh, I really need to concentrate, because this is the bit that gets really tough, because you've had that opening sort of K where you want to get for free. You're now starting to think, is this a good day or not? And it's a bit sort of demoralising in some ways when you've got a lady in front of you who's sort of like giving it all this large, and yeah, but she's doing a great job to fellow runners there. But I'm starting to think, oh, you know, this is not easy for me at all, and this would feel like she's just going out for a little afternoon jog, to we say. So we come through the banner. I think this time I decided to go underneath the banner. That's a bit more room there. I think, to be honest, the left side should be just for the normal park users. So we go under the banner here. So I've now got a whole lap to go, and I've got about 9.5 minutes to get back to where I was. So this is going to be tight for sure. And at this point, you can see that my pace is now already sort of like drifting outside that 4-minute pace, isn't it? So here we are coming on to 3k on my GPS, but you can see in the distance there the 3k marker board is a bit further ahead. So I decided to take the split here from the actual marker, 11:56 with the last k of 4:11. So after a 3:48, a 3:57, then a 4:11, things aren't going very well, are they? But it kind of felt like I was working really hard here, but I didn't realise that I really had slowed down rather badly. And as you can see now, those ladies ahead have really now started to get away, and I think that's definitely now going to be the last I see of them. I take this bend quite well, and I think at this point I thought, well, actually I can kind of get a bit of a move on. I think actually my pace does very, very gradually speed up. You can see it's coming down back to a sub 4k pace, and at this point perhaps I'm thinking that I can actually push on, but maybe that was kind of my last gasp effort, because I think at this point I realised that perhaps I wasn't feeling as good. There's my 2 mile marker, 12:40 and 6:12 and a 6:28. So on mile markers, which I had my auto lap on, maybe I should switch back to having it auto lap on a K, because I tried that sometimes. I think in miles, but also quite familiar with Ks. Obviously in a 5k it's useful to know what your case bits are, but sometimes I almost don't want to know. Perhaps I was a bit too conscious of racing this for a time. I think, as I said, there were points in this race where I think, although I was in a race, I didn't really feel like I was actually racing anybody, because I didn't really know anybody too well. And you can see here I'm running with this Serpentine guy, and those women ahead are now well out of shot, aren't they? They literally just turned the corner. Okay, so here we are coming up towards the 4K, and as you can see I've got like a vast expanse of empty road in front of me, so motivationally it's not good. And look at my heart rate there, it really has plummeted, doesn't it, as it has my pace. Maybe you could say that my pace and heart rate are in correlation, but normally you would expect in a race, even if your pace had dropped considerably, you're just tired and your heart rate would at least maintain it. So I think I need to look into that a bit more. There we go, a 4:05, basically doing it on the marker point there. So maybe it's just sort of now holding the pace. I think that 3rd K I kind of adjusted it to fit in with the overall GPS. So they're slightly long on this watch on my right. I've got another one on the left which read a bit better, but the barometer on the one on my right is reading a lot better, so it was not showing a sort of a full sort of initial climb. But yeah, you can sort of see at this point now that there really isn't too much motivationally for me. I mean, I think I realise now that my chances of a good time are well gone, and I thought, well, maybe I could still break 20 minutes, because I did start my watch basically when the gun went, so I knew I had a few seconds buffer. And at this point I think we had to go past the edges of some people walking here, and at this point this guy comes past as well. So that's yeah, you start to think now that I really am struggling here. And look at that pace, 4:12, 4:13. I mean, that's barely not even the 10k pace I was doing, and easily I felt like I had a strong finish, paced that one a lot better. And this one I'm now thinking, well, the finish is not too far away, but yeah, these people are sort of coming past, and yeah, really having to hang on. And this is when the tough bit in a race, isn't it? Because you know it's not your day, and somehow you need to sort of get to the finish and be happy with your day. And here comes another person apart to overtake me. I think it's the same Serpentine guy that had just briefly got past me, and then I got past him, and there he is sitting on my heels. I think he was the guy that actually got away. Let's see if I can keep him in sight, these two. And I think shortly a few more are going to come past, but I did rally well, so we'll hang on to show you the home straight now, because at least at this point I'm thinking I can smell the finish. And yeah, it's one of those times that, you know, on a good day you could really put in a massive spurt here and try and get past people. Today I was just thinking, oh yeah, for some reason, I don't know, I always used to like evening races, but having now worked in the day, I think I couldn't really sort of feel like I could concentrate, and did I need to get up? And here's another guy that's coming past me. So yeah, they're all starting to stream past now, aren't they, with what, just over 400 meters to go. And it won't be long now before we take this final left, and that always gives you a bit of a lift, to be fair. You've got the track there on the right, and you know, my normal sort of former stomping ground. I think this guy that's overtaking me turned out to be the leading M70 Jed Ruffled from Hart Roadrunners, although he's got a Vets AC top. And this lady here is Elise Brockhurst, so from Hook Runners. She's a W45. I think the Serpentine guy must be James Ward. So let's see if I can get past these three. I think the guy further up, I think he must have been in the Royston vest. He's actually the sort of the darker vest there, a M65. So this is now on the home straight, and there we go, past the board there. So this is about notional about a minute, and you can really get a good fly down this if you really put everything into it. So that last mile there, 6:41. So yeah, it's getting ever slower, isn't it? So it's not good at all. But yeah, that heart rate there, 138. I really must check out whether my heart rate monitor is working. So I've got past the Serpentine guy, and I've got past, or back past Elise there. So I'm thinking, well, now I can get past one more, and as it turned out, this guy's an M70, so he actually won the M70, so it'd be amazing if I can run anywhere near as well as that in, what, just 12 years' time, because I'm 60 in a year and a bit now, and I think the guy in front of me now is Brian Jones, so clearly not going to catch him. And my chip time, overall chip time, was 20:09 with a gun time of 20:15. So yeah, officially that was my worst ever 5k road race, but I have run slower in park runs.
Oh dear. Struggle tonight.
I was hoping to run under 17. I think I ran 58 or 59 or something, so I'm happy.
Perfect.
And I was absolutely delighted. Tim, have you seen this? Did you see how quickly this gentleman ran?
No.
What time was it, Terry?
About 16:45-ish.
Oh, right.
Wow. It cruised away from me.
Yourself?
Good fun. 16, 58, 59 or something. No.
Just could see the distance.
Terry just smashed up Group 2 on the second lap. He just said, you're too slow, guys. See you later.
Too young.
Too young, yeah. How was yours, Tim?
Oh, yeah. It was trouble, but just outside 20, I think. I suffered from another bit of a cold, just come back from, so. There was a lady who was kind of shouting encouragement to a load of other ladies around, sub 20, and then, I was a bit demoralised because I sort of ran off the back of them, and then that was it.
Did you see Claire Elms was running? I don't know how quickly she ran.
Yeah.
She looked ruined at the end, and that might mean she's done something special. I don't know.
Yeah, but it was.
Martin said he pulled away from her towards the end. I think he's at 18:15. I don't know if it was a him or her, but
right, wow.
So he's probably well under 18 and a half.
Yeah, conditions are good if you're up for it.
Yeah. But 18 and a half. I don't know what the W60 world record is for 5k. So,
she's been smashing them off, hasn't she? So probably close, yeah. I've got Steve off. Oh, there he is there. He'll probably
He'll have a full
full recipe. Hold on, guys. What shoes you got? Red Food Sky Paris, is it?
Yeah, I had them bought them about 3 years ago, and I've been fitting up to wear them. There we go, yeah.
The older ones, yeah.
They're okay. I like these.
They play fours for me. Maybe not the secret sauce, but anyway. For next event, Faith play twos for Steve.
I think they're twos, yeah.
Yeah, they've got twos.
None of our mileage there. Only ones I've got.
Oh, well done, guys.
Cheers, Tim.
Well done, guys. Yes. Well, Mark, how'd you get on?
Yeah, not too bad today. First race since the end of the cross-country season.
Okay, Time?
About 18:15-ish.
Oh, very good. Yeah.
Yourself?
Just outside 20, I think. I feel like I was going okay. Then I started off slowly, deliberately, and then got into a nice rhythm. Then I thought, legs are nothing much there tonight. But,
Into a rhythm, that's the main thing.
Yeah, it was alright.
You've done well.
Yeah, there or thereabouts.
Early season, yeah.
Yeah, I just sort of come off another cold off that Peggle Bay thing, so I was making no excuses. Yeah. Did you go to Claire Elms?
I was running with Claire for most of that, majority of that race actually. So,
Did she break any records?
I think she missed it by a second.
A second? Oh no.
Second or two, yeah, it was very close. If she had
similar time, I would say.
If she had stayed,
I only had Claire on the
Oh well, she got plenty of
straight.
few more chances yet, yeah. Oh, well done, guys.
Yeah, likewise.
So you are, sorry?
James.
Well done. You look like you're younger than me.
47.
47, oh yeah. 45. I was quite good as a 45. I seem to have got worse as I got to 55. It seems to get harder. People seem to take it more seriously as they get older, I think.
Yeah, must be tough.
Yeah. What was your time tonight?
I think 17:02.
Oh, well done. How's that compared to what you normally do?
Probably about 30 to 40 seconds slower.
Slower. Okay. Yeah. I thought the conditions are okay, but I mean, can't really make excuses in that sense, can you?
No, tough
Not much wind to talk about.
Perfect condition.
Yeah. 5K is funny on distance, isn't it? Sometimes you feel like you're really doing well. Other times it's a bit of a struggle. But yeah. There was a group of 3 ladies, and they were all shouting each other on. I was thinking, I'll stay with them. And they just gradually each to away. Oh no! They seem to be going for sub 20, so I think they might have just done it.
Oh, brilliant! Did you do sub 20?
I think just outside, unfortunately, which is a bit annoying. Yeah, because that's normally my benchmark these days. But I think I started it on the gun. I was a bit back, and then it was probably about 20:05 on chips, something like that. Very annoying. But I've done a few sub 20s recently, so not as if I hadn't done one for a while.
Oh, brilliant! Well done, Tim.
Yeah, and good to see you.
Yeah, have a good night.